I'm here at you at Ace Corner Talk. I'm just getting on. I'm a little tired, but I did wanted to get on so I can bring some content to you by way of YouTube. And my objective and goal is to elevate the people or the people that are associated with the black race, to elevate your mind, to think and to utilize your mind on a higher level. Not trying to get deep, but my goal is to have you thinking about the what if. So hopefully, by the time I finish this broadcast, maybe one person or somebody can be able to reflect on what has been said and conversed. So I don't know if you can see the title, but my title and description is the weapon of deception being used to take down the black race or community. I wanted to say this. I wanted to say that the greatest weapon that can be used to take down a spiritual-minded person is the art of deception. And I know some people might sit back and they might try to dispute and debunk what I'm saying. And I invite that. I want it. I invite you to come dispute what I'm saying, because that opens up the discussion and the dialogue, and that gets that mind rolling, and thus that gets us thinking on a higher plane, because we have to come to a conclusion at the end of the day. So what I am saying is the weapon of deception, in my belief and my perception from where I'm at, I believe that the art of deception is bringing down our black race, our people. So I'm saying this because in order for a lie to begin to manifest in your life, it first has to enter. And how does that lie enter into your life unless you let it in? It has to get in there first. So I believe the only way that a lie can get into your life to be able to manifest is through trust. You have to first trust in order for your guard to be able to be let down. Because otherwise, you're not going to let your guard down if you don't trust something or trust somebody. You're always going to have your antennas up, and you're always going to be on the guard. So I do believe that in order for a lie to manifest in your life or to enter into your life, you first have to trust something or somebody in order for that lie to be able to manifest. So I was in my thinking, and I was thinking about, okay, why have our race as black people, how have deception been able to corrupt the community, and how have deception been able to bring our community down? Like what tool has been used for that to occur? Like what has people been doing? What have those out there that been using that weapon, how have they been using that weapon to neutralize the black race? How have they been utilizing that to bring our people down? I want to say, in order for me, you, and anybody else out there to begin to start trusting somebody, they have to sit there and they have to say the most cunning and smoothing and the most trustworthy things in order to get your guard down. I believe that's the only way that that you're going to be able to start having your ears listening to somebody. They have to, somewhere or another, be able to touch you so that they can gain your trust. That's the only way. Because outside of that, you are definitely not going to trust what somebody says. Me personally, coming from the streets, being on the streets, it was hard for me to trust people because of so many different characters I have inquired. It was so many different people that I've came across. It was hard for me to just start opening my ears and my heart to people. I always felt like in order for me to, you always had to come from an angle. I felt that because every time I seen somebody, my antennas was raised up to want to say, okay, what is your angle? How are you coming at me? Or what are you coming at me for? Or what angle are you coming at me? That's how I thought coming from the streets, because I was always intertwined with the no good. I was intertwined with people that, you know, was always scamming, scheming, trying to impose a scam, always had a bright idea. Like, these are the people that I always was encountered with. So as I began to get older, that's how I thought, like, everybody always had to come from an angle. So that allowed my antennas to be raised. Until that day when you feel the hurt from somebody lying to you, it's going to be hard for you to get on the same level with me. And I know I'm not crazy, and I know there's people out there listening right now, those who are in the chat right now. I know that you're agreeing with me somewhere or another, because hurt is the only thing that can get you to raise your guard up. Outside of that, you're going to let your guard down, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to try one way or another to get into your psyche, to get into your mind. There are people out there that when they see you, they start to size you up. They say, oh, he's either a simp, he's either easy, I could either get over on him. And depending on the type of people you draw to you, whether you're a good-natured person, you're going to always draw some crooked people to you if you're good-natured. That's just what it is. If you have that sweet, mild nature, you're going to draw those type of people, because they're always going to be trying to get into your psyche, or they're always going to try to break you down so they can gain or suck from you. There are people that are bloodsuckers out there. All they want to do is drain your energy. All they want to do is drain and pull from you until you ain't got nothing left. So if you are from the streets and if you're tough, you're going to repel those who are trying to gain a foothold in you, because they already know that you're not going to go for that nonsense. They might try, but they know you're not going to go for it, and they might try anyway. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of good people turn blessings away. And I've seen a lot of people turn good people away because their guard was on high. Like, their guard was so high, they have turned things away that possibly could have been a blessing in disguise. Just because of how they've been treated, just because of the type of people they have drawn to them in the past. And not only that, every time that me personally not only can speak from experience, so that's why I like to use myself, because it's hard for me to use examples of something I may not know. So I use myself as an example. But any time that I have came across people that I felt like was trying to use me, I would let them go. I would let them speak. I would let them, you know, try to get into that conversation just to see what angle they was coming from. And 9 times out of 10, every time I let that happen, I always can hear behind the scene what their true motives were. I just listened a little while and just let them go for a bit, just to see what angle they was coming from. Because deep down inside, anybody that comes to you with their motives and agenda, if they don't come to you with not with all of this smooth saying and all of this cute stuff, if they come to you real, like just upfront, this is what I want, most of the time you can be able to relate and let your guard down with a person like that. You can be able to say, okay, I can trust him because I know where he's coming from. But if you're coming to me with all of this smooth stuff, with all of these little underhanded words and these little shortcut words or whatever, then 9 times out of 10, you're trying to beguile me. You're trying to fool me or trick me, or you're trying to gain a foothold. Maybe it's something I have you want, or maybe there's ideas I have that you're trying to get from me. But one way or the other, I believe that's 9 times out of 10 the case. So I was sitting back thinking about why our Black community is suffering with so many different things that we're plagued with. Why has the suffering of Blacks been such a weight on us? And the only thing I could come up with, and the only conclusion that I can come up with, is that we have been deceived. I'm not worried about any other race. I'm talking about us as Blacks right now. Y'all can get on that other stuff and get on talking about other race. Okay, we are the world and we come in kumbaya and all that. All right, I understand all that, but I'm talking about Black people right now. I'm talking about Black sisters, Black brothers, Black children. That's what I'm talking about. Because I want to know, and those who are watching, I want to know, have deception been one of the greatest weapons to bring in Black people down? Because we are the only race that is accepting to everything. We are the only race that people could do things to us and we'll just accept them back. We are the only race that people can just crucify us, hang us upside down, and do whatever they want to. And at the end of the day, we are open arms to receiving them back in. Some people, some other races, you do something to them, they shutting you down. You ain't coming back. It's over. But our hearts as Black people are so accepting to those who have impressed us, so accepting to those who have diswronged us. So we receive people easily. But is that our downfall? I want to know, is that our downfall, that Black people are so accepting and so inviting to those who have impressed us and hurt us? And I'm sorry that I'm so expressive because I'm passionate about what I talk about. I'm passionate about what I believe in. I'm very passionate. So it might come across as aggressive. I apologize. This is Ace, AKA the Rambler. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of French in me and Italian, so I speak with my hands. That's just me. You either like it or love it. But what I want to talk about today is have deception, has the lies that have been penetrated into the Black community has that been our downfall? Has the narrative, the false narrative that been put out there for us to grab hold to, has that been the downfall of the Black community? Because as I see it, every new wave, every new person, every new rapper, everything that has been presented, it seems like the Black culture has been the spearhead to grab hold of it. And it seems like we're the ones that are catching the blunt of the fall. Every new drug comes out. Who are the ones that it seems like are getting the blunt of the test in it? Blacks. The new clothing genre, the new thing that comes out. Who are those they target to promote it? Blacks. I'm sorry. You can disagree. There's the chat. If you want, go ahead and put something in the chat. If you disagree, if you agree, press the like button, press thumbs up, whatever. So I can get an understanding of whoever's watching that you're agreeing with me. And if you disagree, I want to know that too. I want to dialogue. I want to talk with you. But if I'm telling you the truth, thank you for listening. Because as I see it, we as Blacks, we have a hard time turning away the things that we know are not good for us. We have a hard time doing it. I don't know if it's peer pressure. I don't know if it's the being under scrutiny for it, but things that are presented to us, it seems like we just hold tight to that instead of denouncing those things. I often quote and use the Bible in some of the things I say because I try to have a reference point of something to use so that you just know that I'm not rambling out of my own words. So I do try to use something. There might be some people watching that don't care about the Bible, don't subscribe. I understand that. There might be people that are part of other religions. I understand that. So I do use something so you can get an idea of where I'm coming from, and I'm not just coming out the thin air about what I'm saying. But Philippians 4:8, Proverbs 23:7, 2 Corinthians 11:14 and 15. These are scriptures. I'm not going to read them. If you had a pencil, write it down. That's something you can read. But it talks about being deceived. And it talks about how deception can be a downfall to those who believe in God, Christ. It talks about how Satan has been able to deceive the world. We people have been deceived. We've been marked because we have something in us that everybody really wants. We have something in us that people see. We draw people to us because of who we are. There's people longing from other races to want to be in our black skin. Why do you think white people tan the way they do? They try to get dark as they can, walking around, eyes white as they can be right around here, face dark as they want. They want to be us. They love us deep down inside. But through racism and hatred, that practice has put that in their mind as the forefront. But deep down inside, they want to be us. I don't care what you say. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's why they work so hard to oppress us. But I want to talk today about whether the deceptions of things out there in the society, have that brought the black community down? Has the things that people have been indulging in, have it been a deception? Because some people blame the church. You can't blame the church for every single thing that goes wrong. Because I can say this, the Bible does talk about there being false prophets, there being false ministers. The Bible talks about these things. So you really can't say that everything is the church, because the Bible did warn you about them being false people out there. One scripture says, having the power of God, no, having a form of God, but denying the power thereof. Having a form of godliness, but not having no power. Yeah, the Bible talks about those things. So I'm really not going to go spearhead against the Bible and say that the church and all that stuff is the problem of the black race because people are going to church. Now, I'm not going there, and I'm not going to subscribe to that thinking or that ideology. If you think that way, fine. That ain't my thinking, and I know a little bit better because of the research and being in church and all that good stuff. So we ain't gonna go there. And I don't know enough about being Muslim and all that. Yeah, I tried it for a couple of days, but I took the high road. It just wasn't for me. I'm sorry. I eat bean pies, and yes, that's good, and they're very delicious. And I get the squash and butter, rum, nut, and all that other stuff. Yes, but I ain't Muslim, so I'm not going to try to get into that. And I don't subscribe to any of the other religions. I can only talk from a position of where I am. And I can say this, that there are some things scripturally that are coming to pass. So I can, and I am using some of the references of the Bible. So, deception. When you let something in your mind that is a lie, that begins the snowball effect of deception. The only way you can do that is if a person comes with an agenda that is against where you are in your life at that time. Okay, where I am right now, if you are against the agenda of where I'm going and trying to be, the only thing you can do is come with a deception to try to throw me off course. That's the only way you can come. That's the only way that somebody can get in, is if they come from another angle. The Bible talks about them coming through the black door. While men slept, there's scriptures that talk about that. While men slept, the enemy came in. People come, some people expect people to come the front way, but I expect you to come through the back door to try to get me, because I have my antennas up. I'm too aware of a lot of things for people to just come straight up with me. So in order to try to fool me, trick me, or try to do something, they come the back way when it comes to me. And I know there's other people out there that are not so easily fooled by every little thing that comes their way. And I know personally that if I'm teaching, if I'm speaking, I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to be real. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not going to sit here and try to gain your attention just by saying some smooth words and all that other stuff. It's time out for those who are out there gaining the attention of people just by having some great intellect. Because at the end of the day, you can probably gain more from a fool than you can somebody with all of that great intellect. I'm sorry to say. Because a fool, he have been through his mistakes. A fool can keep going through the mistakes over and over and over and over again. But somebody that is high and mighty with an intellect, they think they know everything. They think they have arrived. They think that nobody can tell them anything. So that when there's things that really happen that are there to fool them, they don't see it. But a fool can keep falling, keep going through, and you can look at him and say, I'm not going to do what he's doing. Because he keep falling. He's a fool. So, have deception been the downfall of a black race, of our black people, of our community? Because it seems like in order for you to be deceived, something has to appeal to you. How do you think some of these conscious brothers out there are able to do what they do when it comes to deceiving the people? And I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to go into these people, but there are people out there that have been able to deceive the mass community or the mass people by gaining monies from them and all kind of stuff. How are they able to do that? It's because they know and learned how to appeal to the individuals. See, with me, you see me, I come on here, I might have a t-shirt on, 9 times out of 10 Ravens hat or New York hat or whatever the case is. You know, I'm not going to come with all of this smooth words. Yes, I can use words that are on an intelligent scale. I can use words, I can use big, but that's not going to reach you. And that's not going to help me either. Just because I might know some smooth words, some big words and all that, that's not really going to get down to the bottom. That's not going to get to the surface of where we need to be. Because sometimes trying to speak over people's head, you're not going to reach them. And I believe that if I just stand and just give you, and I'm not going to go into the old Ebonics thing and talking with so much slang and curse words, because that's just not my character. But I believe in just trying to be who I am and give a great dialogue so we can talk back and forth together. So that we can get to the bottom of what's really egging and what's really hurting our black community. And then once we learn how to master ourselves, once we learn how to clean up our backyards, then we might be able to help somebody else. Because as it stands, we ain't in the position to do no helping because we got our own backyard looking crazy. You can go right now, you can go on Worldstar and see some of the craziest things you ever seen in your life. I'll just be looking at Worldstar sometime. I got coworkers that come and say, man, look at this clip on Worldstar and all this crazy stuff, crazy madness. And then people wonder why our communities and our babies out there are in the twitch that they're in. We're deceived, people. We have been deceived. And I'm not going to blame another race for the deception because we let that in. We let that into our mind. We let it into our heart to manifest to be something bigger. We did that. So we can't blame white people. Yeah, they did what they did. They have their place. And yes, at any given time, you can give it to them for how you feel on the inside, whether it's good, bad, whatever. You can do that. You got your right to do that. But at the end of it, is it going to help? Is blaming white people going to help the condition of where black people are? Is that going to help pull us up out from where we are? I don't think so. I think taking accountability, and I think, excuse me, I'm not Jamaican, I'm not tink, but I think that if we take accountability for where we are and for what we allow to happen in our life, I think then only can we as a black people get strong. I think that's the only way that we can get strong. Come on, somebody chat with me, man. Somebody that's on the chat line. Somebody say something. Somebody at least just say, hey, bro, whatever. Just shout out or something, man. At least give me that much. Thank you for pressing the like buttons. Yeah, let me see something here. Give me 1 second. Hold tight. Okay, I got you. Okay. Excuse me, folks. I'm just preparing this right here so I can see what this chat was popping over here. Okay. Turn the volume down over here. I got all this technology and stuff going on. Okay. Chat. No, come on. All right. Come on, folks. Get with me. Chat with me. Let's see what's going on. I want some dialogue today, man. Sometimes your throat get dry when you're talking by yourself. I need somebody to say something to me. Say peace, ace, or something. Yeah, you know. What's going on here? Okay, cool. Cool. All right, let's see where we at here. Thank you for the thumbs up. So, getting back to what I was saying, since I don't have nobody chatting with me right now. If we allow other people, other races to actually be the scapegoat for us, we ain't gonna move nowhere. We ain't gonna move. I'm telling you. We're not gonna have no momentum. We're not gonna have no drive to be able to do something effective. We're not. If we keep pointing the blame at other people, it's not going to happen. If we just take a little bit of accountability and say, you know what? I think our situations in my life, our family's life, in our community is because we let things in that had a bit of deception that we didn't really need at that time. Everything has a time and its place. Everything, like the Bible says, there's a season for everything. Season to mourn. There's a season to be prosperous. I mean, there's seasons for everything. So we letting things in at the wrong time can potentially set us back. Yeah, we have been deceived. We have let people come in and plant deceptions in our lives, and it set us back. Some of us should be well further than where we are. But some of us are stuck to a lie that has been presented, and we took it. We took the bait. We took it. The only thing I can say at this point in time, in order for us to clean up our act, I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm not saying you got to be perfect. I'm not saying subscribe to religions to be perfect. That's not what I'm saying. Because I don't think that that's going to help you be a better steward. Accountability is definitely going to help you be a better person. When you take accountability for yourself, when you look in that mirror and say, hey, this is me, this is where I'm at, big, fat, small, ugly, cute, whatever the case is, it's me. When you take that accountability for your actions, for what you allow to come in your mind, then only at that point can we start the ball rolling to being better people, to being better, better brothers, better mothers, better sisters, better fathers, better community. Only at that point. Because if we keep allowing things to come in, corrupt this heart of ours, corrupt the minds, then we ain't moving nowhere. People will continue to use us as doormats. They will continue to use this black race as a doormat. While they're gaining and moving up in the ladder, we're still stuck at the same place and position where we're going to be. We're not going to move up. People are constantly using us as doormats. And the only way that us blacks who are out there can get ahead is unless they cooling, and unless they're trying to kiss the feet of a white person or a Chinese person or a black person, or another race or Indian person. That's the only way that some blacks are getting ahead. And I'm not going to say all. I'm saying some people are using the gifts and talents. Yes, they're using school. They're using some of those things to try to get ahead. But at the end of the day, if a lie gets in there, it's going to hold you down. Yes, you can use all of those things to try to move ahead, but at the end of the day, if you're being deceived and living a lie, you cannot move ahead. Sorry to tell you that. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. So Eve, let me get that real quick. Eve was deceived by the serpent. He didn't come to Adam, which the commandment was given. See, the commandment was given to Adam. But what happened? He went to Eve. Then he started using some words. You got to watch the words of people. Watch how people use certain words to gain trust. Watch how people use certain words to be able to gain trust. Watch it. Watch how people start to use certain code words to gain trust. Watch how they try to get in there to be able to get a foothold. With destruction, with the intent to destroy you. Some people might try to get in there because they know that you are an outgoing, prosperous, on your way to greatness type of a person. So they see that and they want to stop you. I can remember when I was in school, I got my first car. Man, I thought I was the slickest thing out there. I had this big old long blue Camaro. I was working at Taco Bell and I saved the money to get that Camaro. And I was in school and I had so many haters. And I'm riding around and all this. And I had 3 or 4 people riding with me when I got my first car. But not knowing that there were so many people hating on me, I thought I was flossing. And I thought they was for me and like, bigging me up. And I even thought the people riding with me was down with me. Not knowing that they was all along hating on me behind the scenes. Watch out for that. There's people out there trying to attach themselves to drain you. Trust me, they out there. You might have some in your corner. You might have some in your family, but there are people trying to deceive you. They're trying to drain your energy. And once they use you up, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. The way you can really tell if somebody's in your corner is when they're there when you ain't got nothing. Yes, I might not got a lot of subscribers. I might not got a lot of views every day, but do trust me. Those who are here now, when something gets bigger for Ace's Corner Talk, whatever it may be in the future for Ace's Corner Talk, whoever's been there from the beginning, I will never forget you. I will never forget those who started off with me, period. Whatever it is, we'll never forget it. We'll never forget the few that viewed and was watching. We'll never forget that. Instead of you giving to me, I'll be looking how I can give to you and help elevate your life. Trust me, I can put God on that one. That's just me, my personality. They got a lot of YouTubers out there. They might be getting their money the way they getting it. A lot of supporters donating, but they ain't giving nothing back to you. But do trust me, when God elevates and open up doors for this person, I'm giving back. I'm going to make sure you have something that came from Ace. Not for bragging rights, but to say that since you was there from the beginning, my appreciation for you is extended. My arms, my hands, whatever I have, whatever's being utilized, it's for you. So thank you for those who are viewing. But getting back to the topic, there are people out there that are attaching themselves because they don't have the mental capacity to be able to say, I denounce all of these things that are not for me. I denounce the ungood things. I denounce the things that are bad. They don't have that power. So they allow any and everything to get in that mind, which starts the process of deception. Have you ever seen a gullible person that just goes along with anything? Laughs at everything? I'm wary of people that laugh all the time. What you laughing for? What's so funny? Ain't nothing funny. You laughing. What you laughing? I know you can be happy in this time, but you laughing all the time? Okay, something's wrong with that. Because there's sorrow, there's sadness. We as human beings go through stages. And if you always trying to be happy and always laughing at something ain't right. I'm sorry to say. You can disagree. Where's the chat at? Nobody chatting yet? Nobody getting in there? Come on, folks. Talk to me. At least say something. Say, what's up, Ace? I dig what you're saying. What's up, Ace? Something. Anyway, getting back on topic. So, deception. Have the art of deception or being deceived hindered the black race. Have the cunningness, have the craftiness of people, their spirit been the downfall, bringing us down some way or other? Have it been have those people out there that have been sent to us, that have tried to connect to us to gain something, to gain a foothold, have that been the downfall of our communities, our babies, our families? You got to be aware of some of these things. You got to be aware of people coming to you dressed as sheep, but they're wolves in sheep clothing. You got to be aware, because there are people out there right now that are desperate and they're willing to do any and everything to jump on the next wave to success. The Bible says the narrow way is to life, the broad way is to destruction. Anybody that's not willing to build something and allow the process of time to build them, they're on their way to destruction. If somebody is not willing to take the time and process, and let things marinate and build, they're on their way to destruction. I don't want to jump on the wave or the next wave, to be able to gain quick success in what I do in life. Because I know that in some point in time, if that happens, then that means I have not gained the lessons that were needed to be gained in that period in time. I haven't learned it. I have not learned the lessons that was needed to be gained in that situation, because everything we do in life and every situation in life has a lesson for us to learn. Whether you think it's small or not, there is a lesson in it. You just have to have your eyes open to see it. Yes, there is. Whether great, big, small, there are lessons in everything we do. We can learn from every situation and aspect of our life if we're willing to learn it. So anybody that tries to jump on a quick wave to success, I do believe is headed for the destruction. They're not going to appreciate the small things, the small times. They're not going to appreciate the build. They're not. I appreciate who's looking and viewing. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So when that time comes for growth, I can appreciate the process it took for the growth. People are so discouraged where they are in life because they feel like they're not where they should be. But if you go about the right way of doing things to be able to gain, to be able to start moving forward in life, you're going to appreciate the times when things were rough. You're going to appreciate the times when you didn't have a whole lot. You will. Trust me, you will. Because I remember when I first moved to Baltimore, I was walking, Pat and Charlie, everywhere I went. Because I lost my license, messing around, driving with no license, speeding. All my driving record was terrible. But when I was able to get my license back, trust me, oh man, I appreciated having those licenses because I didn't have to catch the MA, the M1, and all of these buses. I didn't have to do that anymore because at that I was on a mission to get a car. I was like, hey, it's time now. I got these licenses back. Oh yeah, So you learn to appreciate the small steps. But if you allow people to deceive you, if you allow things to come in and take you off course, it's going to hold you back. And you're not going to be where you want to be. It's going to be that longing to want to be further than where you are. So I got the license, got the car. I had great aspiration on the inside to do something bigger. I remember when I got my first house, very excited. Oh man, I was so excited. Yeah, ain't rent no more. Don't have to go pay the rent to this person and that person. Then I remember getting my second house. That was an excitement. Then I remember getting my third house, having 6 mortgages at one time. And I thought that was what I really wanted to do until all of the headache came behind it. Renting to people not paying you the money, me still having to pay the mortgages. I mean, yes, it turned me sour really quick, thinking that bigger was better. 5-bedroom, valedictorian, glass game room, all that big stuff. Until BG&E started hitting me with them $700-800 light bills. Until I had roots in my pipe, had to pay $4 grand to try to fix the pipe. See, all of these things was a step. It was a stepping stone for me. But in that process, I realized when I started to gain it quick, I didn't gain that lesson in it. It didn't come the way it should have. Don't you know the best things come slower than fast? Why do you think they cure wine? Why do you think wine is cured like it is? The best wine is the wine, and I don't drink, but I know that the best wines are the wines that have old dates. That might be in the 50s and 60s, whatever, old dates. That's the best tasting wine because it's curing. So I do know that when things cure, it has a better taste. It has a better outcome. People right now, they're looking for love. They're looking for somebody to be with. But they're in a rush to find it. Oh, I can hear you thinking right now. Oh, well, you got somebody. It's easy for you to say that. You lay behind somebody all day. Blah, blah, blah. No. If you wait and allow the right person, and he probably could be there. He or she probably could already be there. Right in front of your face. But if you allow the process to take its place and be patient, it'll be somebody that's for you. Not somebody the enemy is sending to you. And I like to use this train of thought. God knows who he wants his daughter-in-law and son-in-law to be for you. That's just something I use when I'm talking to somebody. So God knows who he wants his son-in-law and his daughter-in-law to be because he's God. So Some of y'all need to just be patient and let things take its natural course. Okay, getting back to deception. That's one of the greatest spiritual weapons, is deception. That's one of the greatest weapons to a spiritual person, is deception, because there is no other way to stop the momentum of a person that is strong-minded and that has his mind made up to move forward unless he's deceived about a situation. There is no other way to stop you. You're moving forward. But when somebody deceives you, it could potentially cause the greatest downfall in your life. Yes, I said it. Ace's Corner Talk. Dispute it, dislike it, whatever. It doesn't matter, because I know it's true. And like I say, on this channel, I'm going to do everything I can to speak nothing but the truth. And if you feel it's a lie, debunk what I'm saying, because the chat is open all day. I ain't got moderators in there that's going to try to block you and all that. If you feel like what I'm saying is a lie, dispute it. I love you to come dispute what I'm saying. But if what I'm saying is true and you did agree with it, deception is one of the greatest weapons, because he used it from the beginning. Some of the deceptions in our life started from the beginning. When we was children, we were so deceived about a lot of things. We had parents that lied to us when we was children, telling us that Santa Claus was real. Big fat white man was bringing us gifts and doing this type of stuff. We was deceived from the beginning. And as we start to get older, is when we started to learn that some of the family secrets and some of the things that happened in our life wasn't what it really appeared to be. Yes, it wasn't what it appeared to be. Some of the things that we have inquired through knowledge in the family wasn't what it really was. Yes, we was deceived. Mama deceived you, daddy deceived you, cousin so-and-so deceived you. Some of y'all found out your family lineage wasn't what it really was. Yes, you was deceived. That's one of the greatest weapons, because it can be spiritual and it can be natural. Being deceived is very, very effective, because it can come from a spiritual aspect and it can come from a natural aspect. That's why it's so powerful, because somebody that's not even spiritual can deceive you, and somebody that is spiritual can deceive you. That's a strong weapon to use against you. And that's why I think the black race here in the now has such a hard time getting out of that trench that we're in as black people, in our community, in our families, is because that art of deception has been eased in there, has been planted in our psyche. So now what happens is we start to try to find other ways of moving forward in life, not realizing we have been deceived. Some people come from the aspect of religion saying we've been deceived by religion, but I can't jump on that bandwagon. I can't, because not only does the Bible say that you have to worship him in spirit and in truth. See, some people, they try to get over that. They try to get over the part where God says worshiping him in spirit and in truth. They try to cling to the religion aspect of it, but don't subscribe to the spiritual aspect of it. Why do you think they're trying to get the Holy Spirit out of everything in the world? They don't want that union to be a one. They don't want the Holy Spirit to be involved in anything, because he's the one that was guiding. He was the one that was talking to you about right and wrong and doing this and doing that. Yeah, it was the Holy Spirit. You can dispute it, but it was, because Jesus told his disciples he was going to leave them the comforter. which was the Holy Spirit when he was going away. They had such an attachment to Jesus, the disciples, he had to be able to leave them the comforter, or they was going to fall to pieces. We was deceived, people. We was deceived on so many different levels. The picture was painted that we were the ones. We were the ones that was outcasted when we were the head. We was the head always. We was the head. We was deceived. And I'm not going to say religion. I'm not going to say it was the white man, although they had their place. Like I said before, they had their place. They did what they did. Yes, we was crucified, and I'm not going to relinquish from that point. I'm not. Yes, we was crucified. We was done wrong. We was hung. That had its place, and it still have its place today because we go through it. But I'm not using that as a crutch for stupidity. I'm not using that as a crutch to be strong. What I am is using that as strength to say, yes, we went through that. You put us through that, but I'm overcoming that. And I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be smarter than you. I'm going to be greater than you. I'm using that. That is the power I got now on the inside. I'm using that to be the best I can be. Not a crutch. Not using that as something that I can use as an excuse not to be the better person inside. I remember on my job when there was people that was getting positions over me when I knew I was more qualified. I prayed to God that he opened up a door for me. And guess what? He used a black man to open that door for me to get my manager's position. When all the white boys was getting their positions, moving up, when they was lazy as I don't know what, and I was working hard. It was a black man God used. So you can't tell me from a firsthand experience that I have what God can't do if you ask in faith. Yes, that door was open to me and only me. So I'm finding out now my weapons to use. I'm finding out I'm finding out the right weapons to use. Now that I know that deception is one of the greatest weapons, I know how to combat that now. I know how to combat that. Because what happens is when you start to let people speak into your life, stop speaking into my life. Let's get that straight. I'm not letting you speak into my life. If what you're saying is not lining up with what I feel on the inside, don't speak into my life. Don't. Because I'm going to say something about it. I'm going to speak up and I'm going to tell you that what you're saying is not agreeing with where I'm at and where I feel God has me in. Some of you got to have enough God in you to say, I'm not receiving what you're saying. You can do it politely. If somebody try to come with all of these different ways of gaining trust, to get a foothold in, you got to debunk that. You got to put a stop to that. You got to be honest and say, nah, I'm sorry, I don't receive what you're saying. Maybe at another time, but right now where I'm at in life, I know for a fact that God has me in a certain position and moving me forward. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't really pray for me right now. I don't want you to even touch me. No praying for me. I'm good. That doesn't mean that you're debunking God. That doesn't mean that you're denouncing God. That means that you're aware that there are people out there on their holy high horse trying to deceive you so they can get in. Because deep down inside, that next thing is, brother, let me see your pocketbook here, brother. And then they're gonna come from that angle. They said money is at the root of all evil. It didn't say it was evil. It says at the root of it. So the wave now on the internet, you got all of these scams, you got all of these schemes. I even heard today that if you go to the gas pump, they have a Bluetooth mechanism that they can put on the gas pump and get all your information off the gas pump. It's done got so crazy you can't even pump gas for your car without people stealing information. We're being deceived, man. We are being deceived, people, in so many different ways. How are we letting the deception in? How are we letting it in? Is it coming through advertisement across our TV? Is it coming through religion? Is it coming through somebody that has been subscribed to an ideology that is already headed for destruction, whatever it may be? I'm just asking that simple question. Because some way or another, we are definitely being deceived. The Bible says, be not deceived, God is not marked. You know the rest. What a man soweth, so shall he reapeth, and all of that. I'm not trying to scare y'all with the Bible tactics, but I'm just saying, you know, deception is out there. It's lurking. It's pulling at you. It's trying to get in there. You're doing everything you can to stop that from happening. You don't want to be tricked. You don't want to be fooled. I remember hearing somebody say, the last thing I want is somebody to trick me and to lie to me. A lie hurts. Somebody's lying to you and it comes out, it hurts. It's pain there. It's pain. A lie cripples you. It demobilizes you. You don't want to move. You in that position like, oh, I can't trust. I don't want to believe in that person. Or I just don't know what to do because I've been lied to so much. Lies hurt. And they keep you from being all that you can be. There are people living lives right now, having to rob Peter to pay Paul, having to do their next scam to be able to keep up the lie. I thank God where I'm at. At least I ain't lying to nobody about where I'm at. Yeah, I own my own house, got a vehicle or two, supporting the family. I ain't living on no high hope. I ain't lying to nobody to get what I got because I got a 9 to 5 and work every day, 6 days a week, 1 day off. So where I'm at, I'm in a good place because I'm in touch with reality. And I'm very careful about who I let into my circle. Because I know that people, they might start off with good intentions, but they have that deceiving spirit behind them. And eventually it'll come out. Eventually a deceiving spirit will come out. Because what's inside of a man is going to manifest. If you have wrong in you, it's going to come out eventually. Because you're either going to say something, you're either going to do something that's going to expose you. Sorry to tell you, bruh, you're exposed. Don't flash in front of me with your BMWs and your gold and all what you have, because it ain't doing nothing for me. It ain't elevating me. It ain't doing nothing for me. So don't try to come to Ace's Corner Talk or come to Ace with deception. Because first, I'm going to evaluate what are your motives. If you want to link up with me, let your motives be up front. If you're linking up with Ace Corner Talk with Ace, let your motives be up front. Because at the end of the day, I might check you about your motives if I feel they ain't right. And that's the only right thing to do. I respect the person if they come real rather than them come with some old fake stuff. You come with me with the realness because I might check you about your motives. That's just what it is. If you're trying to link up with me to do some good things in the community, to help black people, to help our race come up from where they are, if your motives ain't right, I'm checking you. I'm checking you. And don't care how you feel about it. You can come with all that other stuff, all these great ideas. If your motives ain't right, I'm checking you. Because it's not just me that's going to be affected. It's going to be those 5 viewers that are looking in right now. It's going to be those 5 kids I got. It's going to be that wife I got. It's going to be those family members that love and that know that I'm doing right. They're connected to me. So if I let you in, you have the potential to damage and hurt those who are connected to me. So I definitely got to check you. I'm sorry if that's a little bit too much for some people to digest, but I'm not on a one-man's mission. I do believe that, yes, I could be effective with the help of other people, but that's not going to stop me, because do believe it, even if I don't continue this mission, God will find somebody else to do it. Even if I'm not brave enough, have enough heart to continue the mission to help our people, God will find somebody else to do it. But I just thank God that I find myself that he even counted me worthy to just use me in the least bit. I'm not no scholar. I ain't no Bible scholar. I might not even know the whole entire Bible, but what I do know and what I do feel can be effective in helping our people. Just one man's opinion. Like it or love it. But what I am saying, my people, the black race, not my people as in mind, but my people as a collective, the black race, we have allowed deception to come in. We have allowed people to come in with their gimmicks, with their schemes, and corrupt our communities. People giving their last dollars to people who don't care nothing about you at the end of the day. If they seen you on the bus stop, they'll drive right on by you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you this story. I remember one time when I was in church, I was on a bus stop, and I seen one of the so-called saints drive right by me and didn't even think to pick me up. You know how hurtful that was? To see somebody that I just was shouting with and communing with and having a good time with, see me on that bus stop and drive right on by me? I ain't got no shame bells, but I wish I did, because it was shame. That hurt. That hurt. But still in all, how us black people are so accepting and so inviting to people who hurt us, we just accept people back with open arms. And I'm not saying don't, because the Bible speaks about having a certain amount of compassion and love for your brothers and sisters. Yes, the Bible speaks about that. But it seems like we go overboard with it. We just allow any and everything that people do to us to be so inviting to keep it. I'm not a doormat. You ain't gonna keep using me. You can bring the Bible up. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you bring, you ain't gonna keep using me. I ain't no doormat. I'm not. I'm not gonna let you use me as a doormat. If I feel like your intentions and what you're doing and while you're connected to me is not the right thing, I'm gonna just nip it in the bud, because I can't allow you to be a cancer to my life and those who are connected to me. Some of y'all need to get some galls and start cutting out that cancer in your life. Everybody that comes might not have bad motives, but I do say this: if you feel like they're a cancer, even with their right good intentions, you might need to cut it loose. You might need to cut it loose, because it's only going to hold you back as an individual. Deception. Deception, folks. What have we allowed to come in to be a deception to our life? And those who probably wasn't watching earlier, I say the only way that deception can be effective is unless a lie can get into your mind. If you let a lie get into your mind, that starts the snowball effect of deception or being deceived. That's why I check a lot of things that come in my path. It's because I'm trying to stop the snowball effect of being deceived. Because once the enemy gets in there with deception, that's not the only thing he's after. He's not only after the deceiving you, he's trying to destroy you. Why do you think the black race is under attack? Because we have been deceived, but not only through deception, it's destruction is the end result. They want to destroy us, people. They want to destroy us. They want to annihilate anything dealing with the black race. because we got power, we got God sense, we have the ingredients that they want. Deception. This is Ace Corner Talk. Thank you to those, and this is going to be a part 2. I hate to draw things out and want to keep people long. I'm tired, but I'm here because I feel like some of the things that are planted in my mind and heart, I might have something good to give to the folks so we can build together. And maybe sooner or later, some of the people who are subscribed might be able to chat in with me a little bit. Thank you. I am passionate about what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell, but I am passionate. I'm sorry. It just hurts me because I see a lot of our people. I do. I see it on an everyday basis. I come in contact with a lot of our black folks, man, and it hurts to see them living their lie, living how they're living because they was deceived at some point in time in their life. Because if you're not properly helped through deception and the lies that have been planted in your life, it's going to destroy you ultimately. It is. It is. It's going to destroy you because you're not going to have the power to get up from it. You're just going to constantly live that lie. The greatest weapon is deception. The craziest thing I ever seen is somebody living a lie and not even know it. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Have you ever been around somebody that's so materialistic, but they don't even realize that their life is a lie? They're killing themselves to uphold the lie, and they're killing themselves with no peace on their being, face wrinkled, young as I don't know what, but faces wrinkled as a dog, because they're trying to uphold a lie. Our community, our sisters and brothers, our children, we don't teach them how to be smart, to notice when somebody is trying to deceive them. We will be enabling them to fall for anything. Don't think just because you bring something across my path, or don't think just because you come in my path and I'm not really aggressive by nature. Yeah, you might think I'm an aggressive person, but I'm not. I'm really laid back and a mild person. I'm really cool when it comes down to it. But I ain't no pushover, and you ain't gonna just do anything you want to me. Let's get that straight. But I am, to a certain extent, I am laid back and cool. And I'm not just boasting about my own self. I'm just saying, I know me. I'm a Taurus. I'm a bull. When I get mad, I get angry, and I get mad when I get to that point. But it takes a lot to get to that point. So, what's up, Misfit? Peace, fam. Holy Girl, 1982. Shaking my head. That's a terrible way to live a life. Yes, it is. It is. Marital things are temporal. Material things, are temporal. Yes, material things are temporal, because you can't take it to the grave. You can't take material things in your coffin. When we go to our ultimate faith, you cannot take all of that. There's parables in the Bible that talks about that. The rich man, when Jesus came to the rich man, told him to sell all his worldly possessions and all he had in his riches. The Bible said he went away sorrowful because he understood he had great gain. He had a lot of stuff. He had gold and all that stuff. But he went away sorrowful because he knew that he had to give it up. He wouldn't have nothing. He probably was like, man, I'm not going to give my stuff up to be like no bum on the street. So us being deceived, us allowing people around us to deceive us because we don't know. You just have to be aware. When you start to see people coming with foreign talk, when people start to come with all of this foreign stuff, with all this foreign speech, with all this out of the world type of stuff. You got to know that there is deception in that. You got to know, because anybody that comes to you, if they're not coming from a standpoint that you can understand, if they're not coming to you with something you can understand right away, they have some deception to it. Not all, but some. Some. Because me, I've been through being deceived. I've been through that part of my life, and it hurts. Not saying that I will never go through it again, but I've been through it, so I can recognize it a little bit better now. I remember back in the day when I had my girlfriend, I got locked up. You know, you messing with anybody? And no, I ain't messing with nobody. And then find out she was messing with my buddy and all that stuff, man. You talking about some pain and hurt? I was hurt. Crying my eyes out. Get out of jail. I thought you wasn't messing with nobody. Knocking on the door. Who in the house right now with you? All that foolishness. You understand? That was some pain. Being deceived. Lying to my face. It hurt. So there's many different things that I felt when it came to deception. So I recognize it. So let's train ourselves to recognize when we're being deceived, so we can raise ourselves and raise the vibration of our black people to be better than where we are, to be better people, better servants, better stewards over what God gave us, to be better in our families, in our households, in our community. Let's do that. Let's recognize when the deception, when the deceiver, when the lies, when people that don't mean you no good, when people are trying to attach themselves to drain you. Let's start recognizing that. Let's recognize what is being put out there to grab your attention, to deceive you. Let's start recognizing that. So then we can start to denounce it to move forward. So I'm about to wrap up, folks. Thank you for tuning in. This is Ace Corner Talk. I like to have feedback. I like for you to engage with me. My mouth is getting dry. Mouth getting dry talking. I like for you to be able to converse with me. Maybe if I recognize you enough, we can be on live. We can converse on live together and have these type of dialogues. Because I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know if the topics that I'm bringing to you is helpful to you. Because I feel that it would be, but I want the viewers to speak, because it's not just Ace. It's Ace's Corner Talk. This is Ace Corner Talk. It's y'all too. It's all of us as a collective. I started this thing for you, me, to be able to get strong. Iron sharpens iron. So I want some of y'all out there that are listening in to be able to start chatting, to be able to start calling in when I provide the number, to be able to get more involved. Tell somebody else. Because I want us to grow as a community, to be strong. There's enough of the foolishness out there. There's enough people out there that is giving you a lot of garbage. You can go to them at any time. I only ask for 30, 45 minutes of your time just to build with you so we can be better. That's all I ask. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking you to be on there for hours and hours at a time so I can feed you some garbage. I want to feed you something that's going to help. And even if I don't get the credit, just know that I'm here so you can get it. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for notoriety. I'm not looking to be the biggest star on YouTube. I'm just looking to help. That's it. So thank you for those who have been watching in, those who have subscribed. If you haven't, subscribe to Ace's Corner Talk. Put a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Converse, chat. All you got to do is where it says you can say something, type. I like what you're talking about. I disagree with what you're talking about. I hate that Ravens hat you have. I'm a Steelers fan. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I can take constructive criticism. And I learned how to be able to take it and apply it to my life. That and those things that I need and those things that I believe can help elevate me, because we are on a mission to grow together. We're going up together, not just me by myself. We're growing together. We're going to be strong, people. I'm pulling for my race. I'm pulling for my blacks. We're going to be strong. We're going to be one day a race that everybody counted out, where everybody got their gimmicks. Why the Muslims, not Muslims, but Indians, Chinese are taking over our corners? That should be us. That should be our businesses. That should be us. But they have learned how to coin and take what has been already ours and to flip it around to gain for their race. Now it's time for us to grab back those things that was taken from us. It's time to do it. This is Ace Corner Talk. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. I'm out.